Sports Tonight on your award-winning sports-loving channels television. Let me welcome the guys in the studio. Joseph Mukuzi makes a return. Joseph, it's good to have you on the show.
Always a pleasure, Austin, and I feel so relieved that we're able to scale through. You know, it was highly labored, but we're able to make through. The Cameroonians were indeed a bully. They really bullied, our ladies, and I'm just glad that we're able to, get out of jail more or less, because at some point it was almost as if the Super Falcons were playing for a penalty. Penalty kick, and they showed that they were much more prepared, because the Cameroonians really ran them ragged. It shows that we really need to prepare a lot more for competitions and not just, size ourselves against ourselves. We need more competitive, friendly games. Yeah. And you must also give them credit, because personally, I see the Cameroonians as the toughest team in this tournament. Because the way they were able to put us under pressure, the South Africans never did that. I'm glad we made it to see an epic final on Saturday.
So that's it in your Bong Monday. I'm sure it's still an action-packed auto sports.
It is always exciting. Good evening, Austin. Very good to be back on the show. Always a pleasure. I'm looking forward to seeing Kolo Toure in Nigeria. I'm looking forward to seeing Didier Drogba, King Didier.
Yeah,
we'd love to see him. And it would be absolutely fantastic to see the galaxy of real superstars who've made African football.
Michael Essien.
The leading light, Michael Essien. Fantastic. We're looking forward to seeing that. But in the short term, I'm looking forward to the final between Nigeria and South Africa. It looks like it will be battle royale. It looks like the Falcons have got something to prove on Sunday against the South Africans. The South Africans, I don't think they've been very, very exciting. I mean, they've done the job. They've scored the goals. They've played arguably the best football at the tournament. But I think the Falcons have got something up their sleeves for them on Sunday.
I know. Saturday, we will see the best of women's football. The Super Falcons will get into that pitch singing the redemption song. Because they know that Nigerians will be saying, oh, this same South Africa, they can't beat you twice.
Yeah, lightning must not strike twice.
Nigeria cannot lose twice to South Africa.
Absolutely
in football, It's like Danny Gali came here the other day and said, any country can beat Nigeria in wrestling, but no Congo. Not Congo. That's for the records. Let's get on with the show now. The guys from World Class Athletes, 2 days ago, they got us talking about the development of boxing in the country. Who did they use as a model? Larry Ekundayo. Remember, Larry Ekundayo holds the IBF European belt after beating John Thane in July this year in London. And those are the guys there. They called for a press conference telling us, look, let's support Larry Ekundayo, because he's going to be defending that title on December the 14th against Louis Green. And that's Segun Adeniji right there. Joseph, he said, look, we can just use Larry Ekundayo, give him all the support, and let it rub off on the development of boxing in the country.
Absolutely. What we've realized that one of the problems we've had in boxing recently is that there is really no face of boxing. We've just been running the sports. We don't have, we had Samuel Peter, but in no time he got off, and now we have Larry. It's important that the new generation coming through the stream are able to see somebody that can set example for them. They can look at and say that I want to be like this person. And we've lacked that for a very long time. Now that we have him, I just wish that all hands would be on deck to make sure they support him and so that he will succeed.
And that's the message that these guys are preaching. But after that, that's the glove that he used to beat John Thane, one of it, the limited edition. They're going to auction it in Lagos. Monies that come out of it we used to support Larry Ekundayo. And of course, Anthony Joshua's glove also. Anthony Joshua, by the way, is also rooting for Larry Ekundayo. So after all said and done, I got Dele Adetiba by the side. He's a veteran. He's an veteran advertising practitioner and a journalist. It's on record that he's the only one that interviewed Muhammad Ali in Nigeria. And I said, sir, you've been there, done that. You've seen it all. Why is boxing in Nigeria struggling, and how can we get back to winning ways? He said, Austin, listen to me. Let's listen to him on the show tonight.
We're a big country. Some say we're about 180 million people. The best way to develop sports in this country, boxing as well, is to work from the base. Expose as many people as possible to the sport. If in a year you're able to get 100,000 people into boxing, In 5 years, maybe half of them will drop off and do something else. In another 3 years, half of those will drop off. But at the end, you'll have a cream of people who will have had several years of exposure. This is what is done by every other serious country. And the frustrating thing about this is we had that infrastructure before. At the very base, sports was played. You had boys' clubs, you had schools, and you had competitions. When we were young, for instance, we had what was called the Empire Day. For many people, that was the first time they even knew they could run. The entire nation was thrown out there. Go and see what you could do. Then you noticed maybe you ran faster than your colleague. Maybe you were long distance, maybe the short distance. For the very first time, people discovered themselves. How do you know if you never tried it? We're not trying anymore. And from then on, in many other areas, in those days, you had competitions. In football, we had the Principals Cup in Lagos, Thamojin in the west, and something else in the east. And then we had the junior tournament in football. Same thing in boxing, same thing in table tennis. In the old days, almost every street had table tennis in Lagos. Almost every street. You walk along, you pay a penny, and then you play table tennis. It's all gone. Anybody who hasn't quite achieved some level of skill in any sport, by the time you're 15, you're unlikely to be a world beater. And if you're starting at 15, you're not likely to get too far. We are naturally talented. I have no doubt about that. But we need to harness the talents, develop and expose people, and we'll make it.